Okay, so again, what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to do an example in Microsoft Access where we can create a form, and the forms are going to be able to help us input data into our database. Okay, so I am going to share my screen now, and what I'm going to be doing now is that I'm going to open Microsoft Access, okay? And I'm going to be based on the SOSA Corp example that we worked on last class. So I'm going to open that one. I'm going to update it to Blackboard as version 2. So version 2 is going to be the one that has the forms, okay? So what we're going to do is the following, and I'm going to do one example right now, okay? And let me know if you have any questions at any point. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to create a form to be able to input data into the employee table. So what we're going to do now here, we already have our tables. We already defined that in the last exercise. I'm going to go to the Create menu, okay? And I'm going to create a blank form. By the way, Access provides us a series of wizards that can help us create stuff. We can also use those, by the way. But right now I'm going to create a blank form. So I'm going to click here where it says blank form, and this is what appears. Remember something. Remember that Access has different views. Remember that by default, it's showing us always a layout view or a form view in this case. But the view that we're going to be using is the design view. Before anything else, once I've created the form, I'm going to save it so I can put a name to it. Remember that by default, it doesn't give you the option to put a name. You have to save it to create a name. So I'm going to call this employee form. Okay, and I'm going to click OK. Now it's called employee form. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the design view. Okay, and in the design view, we're going to see this sort of grid here that allows us to create a form. Okay, and the way I'm going to do this is that I'm going to select the any space here. Okay, and I'm going to click the right mouse button, and I'm going to put here the properties list, okay? And what appears here on the right is that we can see the different options that we have for the form. So what I'm going to go right now is I'm going to go to data, and there's a part here that says record source. What does that mean? It's where we're going to get the information for this form or the data, or what's it going to be linked to. So this form, I want it to be linked to the employee table, okay? So basically, I'm going to get the information from the employee table. There's other information here that we can modify. I'm going to change this one here that says data entry to yes, so we can add information, okay? And I'm going to close this here, okay? And then what we're going to be doing is that once we have that, I'm going to click here. I'm going to go, once we're in the design view, we've got these 3 red sections here, which is design, arrange, and format. Each of these is going to give us different views of what we're doing. And I'm going to go over here where it says add existing fields. Okay, so I'm going to click here. And these are all the fields that are in the employee table. So I'm going to select them all. Okay. And I'm going to just drag them over here to the form. And notice what happens. Automatically, all of the fields that I have are put here. They're not put in any particular order, okay? And by the way, I'm going to let you guys be creative with regards to how things look in your forms. For this example, I'm going to be very practical or very pragmatic. I'm just going to put the information here. So here is all of the information of the form. I'm just going to move these around just to reorganize these. So notice that there is the identifier, and then there's where I'm going to provide the information. So I'm just going to organize these, put these, move these around. This is the design view. So basically we are organizing what the fields or the form in wherever we want to put them. So I'm going to put this here. I'm going to move this over here. So the only thing I'm doing right now is reorganizing things, okay? Okay. I'm going to be doing this here. So the only thing I've done is reorganize the information there, okay? If I go over here to I've got other views. I've got the layout view. The layout view kind of lets me look at how the form is going to look. And the form view is actually the way the form is going to work. So we've got the employee form here, and so I'm going to be doing some modifications here, okay? So first off, we've added the fields here. So everything is here that we need to input information for. I'm going to be doing some other stuff here that has to do with format. I'm going to, with regards to the form, I'm going to open here and say form. There's a few things that I'm going to eliminate, okay? So for example, I'm going to eliminate the navigation buttons, okay? I'm going to eliminate the record selectors, and I'm going to eliminate the close button, okay? So what does that do? If I go over here to the form view, notice that we don't have anything else here. The mark here that says that I can close the form has been eliminated. So I'm kind of leaving it here. I'm cleaning it up. Okay. By the way, these are things that you can do if you want to kind of personalize or give a format to the form. So again, I'm going to leave that to you guys, to your creativity as how you want the form to look. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over here. These are the things that I can add to the form. So I'm going to add a button. This box here is a button form. I'm going to drag it over here. And I'm going to open it. I can make the button as large as I want. Okay. And here are the things I can do with the button. Okay. So I'm going to go here to record operations. And I'm going to say that this button is going to be a button to save the record. So basically, I'm going to input the information, and when I click that button, the record or the information that I put in there is going to be saved. I'm going to click Next. It asks me, what do I want to appear here in the button? Notice that you can select a picture, okay? I'm not going to do that right now. I'm gonna again, let you guys be creative with regards to how things are going to look. I'm going to say that right now what I want is just for it to say save employee record. Okay, that's what I want the button to say. And lastly, I can give the button a name. So I'm gonna, by the way, this is different from the text that appears in the button. The name of the button is an identifier, a variable that I can use. It's important to not duplicate these. So I'm just gonna call it save employee. That's how I'm gonna call the button. So it can be referenced later. And I'm gonna click finish, okay? By the way, I can make this button the whatever size I want. I can move it around. I can put it here on the bottom. I can put it any place I want. I'm going to leave it here right now. Let me check. There's a question. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it again. Okay, I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to delete this one. Okay, again, we're going to go over here. We're going to go over here and we're going to click that we want to add a button. I'm going to add a button, okay? Once I add a button, I'm going to go here. I'm going to first define what the button is going to do. So first, I'm going to say that the button is going to be for a form operation, a record operation. What record operation? I want the record operation to be save record. Okay, and then I'm going to click next. The text is going to be, or what appears there, I'm going to say that the text is going to be save employee record. Okay, I can also add an image if I want. That's what's going to appear in the inside the button. Then the last part is what name I'm going to give the button. So I'm going to call it save employee. Okay. Yes, I'm recording it. I'm recording it, and also there is a YouTube link of another example done by another person. So everything is going to be recorded, and you can also watch the tutorial. Okay. I'm going to finish this up, and then what appears here is the button. And I can make this larger if I want. I can move it around. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to leave it there. I'm just going to leave it there. Okay. Now we've got that here in the form. So what I'm going to do now is, first off, remember, I'm going to save. Remember to always save. So I've saved the form. And now I'm going to go to the layout view. So this is going to tell me how, this is going to show me how it looks. And now I'm going to go to the form view. The difference between the layout view and the form view is actually the form working. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a record. I'm going to say record 1200. Employee name, I'm going to call it Rene Beltran. Employee address is 222 his house. Employee salary, Rene is going to have a large salary. I think it's not as large as Pedro's salary, but there it is. Gender, male. Your birth date, can you tell me your birth date, Rene, quickly? Okay, it's April 16th of what year? 2001. So it's, oh, so you're going to have a birthday soon, 2001. Oh, I hope you have a good birthday there. I'm going to say that he is not a manager, and I'm going to say that he's in Department 10, and his his supervisor is 1003, okay? And so from there, if I click Save Employee Record, this record is going to be saved, okay? I'm going to go back to the design view, okay? And I'm going to open the employee table. And notice that in the employee table, Rene Beltran has been added to the, has been added there, okay? So the table allows us to save that employee. I'm gonna close this one, okay? So now we've created a form that allows us to save things, okay? Notice that these fields here, I'm gonna go back to this is the layout view. Notice that these fields, I'm sorry, the form view. Notice that these fields automatically give me options because that's the way we define them, okay? I'm going to close, I'm going to go to the design view again, okay? I can personalize this to make it look, to make it look better. So I'm going to add a picture. I'm going to add an image, okay? I'm going to select an image from somewhere here on my computer. Let's do I don't have a Call of Duty. Let's see what I can put here. Batman Arkham Asylum. I'm gonna use this one just. So I can put that image here, and that is going to be an image that's going to appear. If I go to the layout view, Notice that that appears. That's how it's going to look. Okay. What else can I do? Another thing that I can do is I can link this to. I can say that, for example, if I click the right mouse button, if I click the right mouse button and go to properties, there's this thing here that says control tip text. This is interesting. If I type here, this is Batman game logo, for example, and I close it, if I go here to the form view, I can click here and notice that we're going to, I'm sorry, it says this is a Batman logo, okay? A moment. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, but thank you, René. Somebody already gave me your birth date, and sorry about the delay there. But apparently, somebody was very insistent in trying to sell us some cheese and honey, and well, I told him I was in class, and I'm right back. Okay, so. So basically what we're seeing here is that we can personalize this. So for example, again, if I click here, this information appears. I'm going to do, I'm sorry, a couple of more things before we're finished. So first, we can add a link. So for example, if I select this icon here, which is the link icon, I can select either a file in my computer or an object in the database, an email address, a hyperlink, whatever I want to link in the form. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to select a file. I'm going to select any file. I'm going to select this PDF, Lab Exercise 2. One thing is the file, and the other, what is the text I'm going to display? And I'm going to display a text that says, click here to view file. And I'm going to say, OK. And I'm going to move this over here. OK. I'm going to save. Always remember to save. Then I'm going to go to the form view. And if I click this here, this is, I'm opening a file. So this is just this doesn't have to do with access. This is, well, it actually does have to do with access. It's just telling me that it's a security notice. I'm opening a file. If that's okay, I'm going to click yes. And what's going to open is the file that I linked. Okay, that's something else that we can add. Okay, I'm going to do one last thing before we finish. Okay, remember that in this exercise, remember that we've got the employee manager situation. So an employee can have an employee can be a manager of a department, right? But an employee might not be a manager of a department. So that's why we've got this option here that allows us to have a yes or no to click if an employee is a manager or not. But I don't know if it's clear to you guys that if an employee is not a manager, then we shouldn't need to fill out this field here. So what we're going to do there is the following. I'm going to go to the design view. I'm going to click this field, which is the manager start date. So if I'm not a manager, then I shouldn't need to input something in the manager start date. And I'm going to go here to format. And there's an option here that says conditional formatting. So I'm going to go there. And basically what happens is show formatting rules for this field. Basically what we're going to do there is I'm going to establish a series of rules that are going to be associated to how that field is going to look in the form. So I'm going to apply Jimena, isn't that a type of dependency? Not necessarily. We're not talking about a functional dependency, so it doesn't necessarily have to be included in the design part. This is more of an input validation that we need to do. So remember that some of the things are going to be incorporated into the design, but other things are going to need to be validated within the access system. So for example, let me give you that's why we're restricting, for example, the gender, the date. Those are things that we establish as restrictions for values in the database when we're doing the design. And those have to be validations that are done in the forms particularly, okay? So what we're going to be doing now is I'm going to establish formatting rules for the manager start date. I'm going to create a new rule. And I'm going to check values in the current record. So what should happen here? The manager start date in the form should not be activated if somebody is not a manager, okay? So what we're going to do is that the format only cells where an expression is. I'm going to select an expression, and basically what I'm going to do I'm going to click here where it says expression builder, and I'm going to say that the employee manager yes or no is equal to 0. So this is a binary field. So 0 means no and 1 means yes. Okay. So if the employee manager yes no field is 0, if this expression occurs, then this is the format here on the bottom that I'm going to give that field. So what do we want? We want the field to be disabled, right? So there's an option here which is enable or disable, okay? So basically disable is that it's going to be gray. I can add more formatting, by the way. I can say it's going to be red, for example. Or I can underline or bold or whatever. This formatting is only going to occur when this condition is met. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click apply, and then I'm going to click OK. And now I'm going to go to the layout view, and then I'm going to go to the form view, okay? Give me a second here because it was not saved. Okay, let me open this again. Okay, so if you notice here, it actually didn't turn red. Let me just check here on the design view. And let me click on here again. And we're going to go to arrange. I'm sorry, to format, conditional formatting. Oh, the red didn't establish itself. So it's going to be oh, actually by default, I'm sorry. By default, if it's disabled, I'm sorry, if it's disabled by default, it's going to be gray. Okay. If it's enabled, it should be other, but right now the condition is for it to be disabled. So if I go again here to the form view, if the person is not, I'm going to add another record. I'm going to say this is a record 2000, employee name. I'm going to say it's going to be Lucia. The employee address is 778 her house. Lucia is going to have a really big salary. Gender is female. What's your birth date, Lucia? June 11th, 2001. Notice that I've marked that she's not a manager. So employee manager, yes, no is 0, so I can't input data, okay? If I mark it as yes, I can input data, okay? So that's the condition that we've established. I'm gonna say that it's department 30. Your supervisor is going to be Rene. I think that's Rene's record. And I'm gonna save the employee record, okay? I'm going to close everything. I'm going to save the changes. And then if I go to the employee table, Lucia has been added. Okay. So that's a sort of a quick tutorial as to how to do forms.